Hello and welcome back to Biblical Receipts Podcast. You ever wonder why church members worship their pastors? They love their pastors so much, willing to shed or themselves of their wealth, shower them in riches, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Why do they do this? Because out of love, devotion, they think that paying the pastor is going to get them closer to God. Why do they worship these people? Placing them up, placing them up on pedestals. Why? Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to start with 1 Corinthians 1:12. Okay? See, the Bible foretold these things taking place. Okay? When Jesus died, things started taking place. People started separating themselves, attaching themselves to individuals. Okay? We see here in 1 Corinthians 1:12, what does it say? Now, this is the King James. We're going to examine two different translations. It says, "Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I of Apollos, and I of Cephas, and I of Christ." You see, people started attaching themselves to the apostles. Okay, and New Heart English Bible says, uses the phrase "follow," where I follow Paul, I follow Apollos, etc. They started following individuals. They started attaching themselves not just to these individuals, but others, other prominent individuals. Let's continue. 1 Timothy 4:1. It says some will fall away from the faith. Okay. King James, what does it say? That in latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines or teachings of devils. Okay. Fall away. They will fall away or leave the faith or leave the truth. Okay. Now, we look around the world today. What do we see? Thousands upon thousands of different religions, all claiming to have the truth. There are thousands of different faiths in the world. Guess what? Ephesians chapter 4, verse 5 says there's only one true faith out there. Just one. Out of the thousands of faiths, there's only one. Guess what? It's your job to find out which one it is before it's too late. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is pray for it. Pray to God from here, from your heart. All you want is the truth. You don't want nothing watered down. Don't attach yourself to nobody. Okay? No group. Pray to God. Guess what? 100%. He's going to answer your prayer. He's going to send people to your door or wherever you are. You're going to bump into them. Now, will you like what you hear? Well, that's going to depend on you. Because following Christ comes with a price. See, it's not easy street. Jesus said it wasn't going to be easy street. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. Acts 20:30. It goes on to say how evil men slipped into the congregation. It says, also of your own selves from among you shall men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples or followers after themselves. Hence, we see that has been widespread today. People claiming that God spoke to them and they want to open up their own little church, little hole in the walls. Some neighborhoods, you got more churches on a block than anything in houses. Some of you have seen it in some neighborhoods, especially in certain uh, deprived neighborhoods. We'll say that there are more churches in a 2 or 3 block radius than houses in some places. Do you need that many churches in one little neighborhood? Really? Yeah, yeah. And people are willing to spend big money for religion. Anyway, um, the New Heart English Bible says, men will arise from among your own selves, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after themselves. Now, here the New International Version, it says, even from among your own number, men will arise and distort the truth in order to draw away disciples after themselves. distorting the truth. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, my pastor reads from the Bible." Yeah, he does. He reads from the Bible. Yeah, boy, he be preaching from that Bible. He can preach. Okay, if that's what you want to call it. But see, when you distort the truth, it says to give misleading or false account or expression of. Now, you can read. I can sit here and read scriptures all day long, but I can also tweak them in a way that you will believe it. If that was me, you see, that's why you get a lot of religions that celebrate Easter, Halloween, Christmas, all these pagan holidays that are not scriptural, and church members go along right with it. That's why you have a lot of religions that are heavily into politics, Democrat, Republican, Independent, and they encourage their members to go out and get actively involved in politics. Jesus said his followers were no part of the world. Huh. You see, people, these individuals distort the truth, and people fall in line because they've attached themselves. They've invested emotionally and spiritually and financially into these individuals, and they don't want to part company. But guess what? That's going to come with a price. Revelation 18:4. You being warned to leave your false religion. Some people know that their pastor is corrupt. Some people know that their religion is corrupt. But guess what? Well, I feel in my heart that I'm doing the right thing. I'm just gonna hang out here because I know my pastor is corrupt, but I know in my heart of hearts I'm a good person. I pay my tithes, and the Lord gonna bless me. Okay, well, that's one way of looking at it. But see, King Revelation 18:4 is saying to come out of her being false religion. It says, "Come out of her, my people." God is pleading with individuals to leave their false religion now, while there's still a chance, while there's still time. It says that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Oh, false religion is going down like the Titanic. Guess what? If you got both righteous and unrighteous people on the Titanic, and the Titanic goes down, guess who goes down with it? Regardless of how you feel in your heart, you going down with the boat. So if you're attaching yourself to this false religion, guess what? You're going down with it. Hook, line, and sinker. Point blank. That's why the Bible is warning you to leave. Pray to God for the truth, nothing watered down, and let the chips fall where they may. You see. Now, granted, when you pray earnestly from your heart, God is going to answer you 100%. No joke. He's going to answer your prayer because it's according to his will, because you want to learn the truth. But know this, Jesus said that following him is going to come with a price. Yeah, Acts 28:22. Say, you may what you pray may be contrary to what you wanted, what you get. Okay? Because Jesus and his followers were spoken against. Now, Paul was having some conversations with individuals, and this is what the conversation entailed. Acts 28:22. It says, "But we desire." These are people talking to Paul. "But we desire to hear what you think, Paul, what thou thinkest. For as concerning this sect, we know that everywhere is spoken against." See, people were speaking against Christ and his followers. Over at the Amplified Bible, it says Christianity. That sect meaning Christianity. Christianity was something that was new back then, and they were speaking against it directly by the religious leaders of that day because they were still trying to follow the old law. Okay, and they weren't used to. They didn't want to hear nothing that Jesus had to say, so they got mobs and mobs of people. They stirred up the mobs, these religious leaders, and they were speaking against Christ and his followers everywhere. So that's was something that followers of Christ had to contend with back then, and that's what they have to contend with today. Jesus stated that it would not be easy following him. that his followers would be hated by all the nations around the earth, generally hated by religious leaders and governments, basically the world, because Jesus said his followers are no part of the world. His followers don't participate in, in worldly celebrations, pagan holidays, don't get involved in politics. Okay, they're not Democrat, Republic, or Independents. They don't get involved in politics, but because we know that Satan rules this world and everything in it. Okay, don't partake in false religious holidays, pagan holidays. See, you have to separate yourself from all these things, but you're still in the world, but not a part of it. See, there's a price that comes with being a true follower of Christ and somebody that's just giving lip service. But if you really want to know the truth, pray for it. Pray hard, continually. God will hear your prayer and he's going to answer it. Now, whether you want it or not, when you get it, that's going to be up to you. But you will see he's going to answer your prayer. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.